Hi everyone. Hi everyone. So today we are here with a very special idea that we have. We will create the study plan for 2025, June 2025, 15th June 2025, NEET PG preparation plan for you. And we have thought we will address all your doubts in a single rapid fire video, and this will give you the ultimate study plan hack that you need. To start off with the study plan, first of all, I will start off and then, Rodipti will pitch in and we'll try our best to do it together. First thing I always want you to do is understand your starting point. Please take a piece of paper. On that piece of paper, start writing where am I right now? Have I done my notes? Have I read my all 19 subjects? Have I done my back to basics? Am I clear on the concept of all 90 subjects? Yes or no? If yes, then we go for a different plan altogether. If no, then how many have I done? Is it like 15 subjects done, 14 subjects done, or is it just the starting point? The answers will differ on the basis of your starting point. Don't compare with other people. For example, if you have already done your syllabus from any resource, but now you mainly want to work on your MCQ skill, E&D will be the right course. But if you're starting right now, back to basics with handwritten notes will be the right course for you. So start by thinking about your starting point. Now, Norditi, what do you think?
I think absolutely yes. And once we know where we are currently, the next important thing is out of our pendencies, like Dr. Sumer said, right? Is are some subjects pending? Have I done my notes yet or not? Have I done the MCQs yet or not? The next important thing is what to begin with. Let's say I have six pendencies, right? Then out of those six subjects, what should I begin with? And that's where the role of strength weakness analysis comes. It's not just for pendencies, it is also if you're planning to start your revision. So, what happens is we have a very natural tendency to start with something we like, start with something which we know, this is our strength. And, it gives us a feel good factor. And, but what is happening is when we follow that plan, it doesn't really improve our score. And then it's very disheartening that I'm doing another reading, but my number of corrects is not improving. So it's essential that when we are far away from the exam, we must tackle our weaknesses. So, out of let's say six pending subjects, if you have some majors pending, okay, then begin with those. For example, don't keep your medicine, surgery, obs and gynae, path, pharma, PSM in the pendencies. These are bulky subjects. Also, they are asked quite a lot in the exams, right? So let's tackle them first. So, among your pendencies, focus on what you really are scared of first. Secondly, suppose you're doing your revision. Again, this is very important because otherwise, if you do the revision in exactly the same way as you did your first reading, again, your number of corrects will not improve. So, when you begin with revision, let's say of any subject, start with what you are less confident with, what your memory is, not helping you with. And that's exactly how you will be able to improve your score. Don't start from the first page of the notes again. And that's why I always say when you are doing your revisions, go retrograde. And by retrograde, we mean first tackle areas which you are weak at to ensure that your revision becomes more effective, to ensure that your number of correct questions is improving.
And then, automatically leads me to the third point. We need to understand the new NEET PG pattern. Like Madam said that, last year's NEET PG pattern, third, fourth year subjects were contributing to 120 questions. First, second year, 80 questions. So if you're targeting the NEET PG 2025, you need to have your focus on the third, fourth year subjects. You cannot ignore. Number two is the paper was full of new questions. Paper was full of clinically oriented, integrated questions. So
Yes.
don't just focus on PYQs. Understand the new NEET PG pattern. It is asking you to have a more clinical approach. That is why we go back to the step one, number one. If you have never done your classes so far, this is the time to do them right now because you are 6 months, more than 6 months away from the exam. And There is always a role for personalization. Let me ask Dr. EP to help us with a personalized study plan.
Absolutely, yes. So, when we talk about a personalized study plan, we need to see what is our demon, right? Is it primarily the MCQ skill where I lack? Is it my content? And when we talk about content, we need to see, is it like a conceptual mistake, an application mistake, or it is primarily memory based recall, right? And this is how we will decide how we are going to do something different from others. For example, if your number of correct questions in the grand test is still less than 130, then you must reanalyze and reassess your content. Maybe it's too superficial, maybe it is not conceptual enough. मतलब आपके पास notes तो है, but probably you are not able to apply them into MCQs. And probably you have not done a couple of topics or a couple of subjects which probably you thought I could leave. But now we have 6 months to go. Why leave them? Why create that zone where we know that in case questions come from that part, then I'll suffer. So let's not do that, so that there are no regrets later. So identify. If your number of correct questions is somewhere between 130 to 145, then you have a dual problem. There will be certain areas where your content may be a little weak and certain areas where your MCQ skill is weak. So then doing a test and discussion is super, super helpful because it tells you the correct approach. It tells you what are the must know topics. It tells you how to rule out options, how to integrate keywords, right? So all this becomes very important. And once you go beyond 145, now you have to primarily rely on giving a lot of tests, making your wrong diary, keep going back to your notes, follow the 3-column strategy, and that's how you personalize.
And when we talk about personalization, don't forget the need for revision. Final 2 to 3 months, minimum 2 months, maximum 3 months should be kept for revision. And in revision, you should always focus on your concise notes. Your concise notes means that you should have the ability to revise one book which has all the high yield information. And usually, I've seen that one book is your DVD workbook. So, your plan for revision should include your DVD workbook, multiple readings. The goal in revision is to look at high yield again and again rather than looking at the concepts. So first phase is concept, like Madam was saying. First phase concept, concept, concept. But final phase high yield, and that is DVT multiple times revision. And then don't forget the exam taking skills.
This is so essential. No matter if we have studied for 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, but agar hamara MCQ skill is poor, if I'm scared of the fact that I have to give the exam, then it is going to affect the D-Day, and let that not happen. So when we talk about MCQ skills, there are so many things. There is time management, there is simulation, right? So you should give a lot of different kind of tests. For example, grand test is one aspect. But when you're talking about grand test, you're revising 19 subjects, but you're still in a very comfortable area in your home or in your library or in your room, right? That is why you must ensure that you go and give these CBT as well, because it is the real simulation. So now what also comes in is your mindset, your travel, your documents, and so many other small things which affect the D-Day, right? So give different types of tests, and we give you 4-level testing at DAMS. So there are going to be your class tests, then there are going to be subject-wise tests, then there are going to be mock tests, there are grand tests, there are CBTs, and every test has a different purpose to solve, right? So like class test will tell you must know topics, the SWTs tell you last 7 years of PYTs, right? The grand test is the most current pattern, yes, and mock test is again current pattern. But if you want to practice more tests, so there are separate NEETPG mock tests, FMGE mock tests, ICT mock tests, and finally, yes, the CBT. Please ensure you give the CBT. Anytime you hear the toppers, they will say one thing that made a difference on the D-Day was giving the CBTs, because you are not new to the environment and you feel that you're very accustomed, the anxiety levels are low, and your performance definitely improves. So utilize these 4 or 5 levels of testing to improve your exam taking skill.
and don't hesitate to take help and guidance. What I've learned is कि बहुत सारे बच्चे ना सिर्फ वो क्या कर रहे हैं, they are just saying कि sir, I have heard on the internet, I've seen on the telegram that people are doing this, people are doing that, but it is like वो तेरी जिंदगी नहीं जी रहे ना. They are not in your shoes. We have to find out that am I somehow able to do something which truly fits best for me. मेरे लिए क्या best fit होता है. So, like we talked about today, you find your starting point, you find your demons, you understand the exam pattern, you personalize your study plan, you plan for revision. If you're not making a circle of all this, you will be suffering in the real exam. So that is one of my suggestions, that look at don't just look at the idea that someone else is doing something, so I have to copy. Seek help from the mentors. Don't hesitate to ask us. I On YouTube channel, on our Telegram channel, we always keep a window open where we keep answering personally to each of your queries. And in the end, I will ask Dr. DP to actually tell that there's something which will always give you energy. Once you know your beginning, let's see if what Madam has to say about it.
Absolutely, yes. When you are talking about a journey, there are going to be ups and downs. And the most important thing is that when you are hit hard, can you stand up again and say, no, I'm going to try one more time? So you keep trying until and unless you succeed. But how do you get this energy to keep trying again, to keep coming back from your failures and converting them into victory? Is always remember your bigger purpose, your bigger why. Yes, go back and write it in a diary, that why did you start doing something like this? Why, or what difference is it going to make in your life? Remember this important thing, because it keeps telling you why you need to stick to your journey no matter how hard you are hit. So then failures don't really seem like failures, they seem like hurdles which you could actually jump across, provided you have that energy to go higher than them, right? So always अपना युवाएं याद रखो. और आज तक अगर ये नहीं सोचा है, तो इस इसी पेपर में write down the purpose, write down why you are doing what you are doing and how important it is for you.
And finally, before we go, I thought I'll quickly share with you one picture that we are all looking forward to. This is
Yes.
an image from the DAMS DVT. We are looking forward to DAMS DVT in Ahmedabad. We'll be coming live on 19th of December. And thereafter, we'll be doing DVT in multiple cities. The
Yes.
power of DVT is that it is the most effective revision tool where we'll concise everything, and the students who have received the workbooks already are already going gaga about it. They know what they have received. They know that how much of value that single workbook and the single 7-day session will make them in their study plan. So on that note, we wish you all the best. We again tell you that start from where you are right now, where you want to reach. It is not about comparing with others. It is about personalizing your journey. It is about finding out what truly works for you, and can
Yes.
you make a big impact in the remaining 6 months. बहुत time है. There is enough time to actually change the game. आप आज भी शुरू करो. Even if this is your day one today, you can change the story. And this is your story. Make it grand. Keep reminding yourself, अपना time आएगा नहीं, अपन
अपना टाइम अपन खुद लाएगा.